Presenting Online with Confidence and Style, Part 2, Basic Content. Aloha, this is Catherine P. Fulford, Professor in Learning, Design, and Technology at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I'd like to provide a special thanks to all those faculty who contributed content, as well as a thank you to James Balakow for use of his award-winning 2019 project examples. This is a three-part video series. Part 1, Your Introduction, Part 2, Basic Content, and Part 3, Final Polish. This is Part 2, Basic Content. In Part 1, we already talked about what was important in your conference paper. In this part of the series, we'll be looking at the lit review, methods, results or designs, showing your project, and the discussion. First of all, the lit review. I spent so much time on that, but keep it to a minimum. They want to know what you did, not what others did. You want to explain your theoretical model, summarize the critical literature that informed your design, and then edit. Can you tell your story more concisely? You need to provide only the most important details. But since all the details are important to you, this is a good reason for an objective outsider. It's always more difficult to be brief. Here's an example from James Balakow. Notice that it's a one-page literature review. He talks about only his foundational theories. He talks about the culture shock and coping strategies for the learning module, as well as the test exercises and data results, and also how to help students reach the terminal objectives. Methodology. You want to keep it simple and use a stepwise process. Think about the key questions: who, what, when, where, and why, as well as how and how much. Clarity is key. It makes perfect sense to me. Why don't they get it? The audience's understanding is your job. Even if you don't have time and they don't get it, you need to work until it's clear. The number one mistake is not rehearsing with an objective party. Does your story make sense to someone who knows nothing of this process? Here's an example. In 5 simple steps, James was able to describe his project: the mobile app design, the Wix site app view, the 6 original lessons, the scenario test questions, and Keller's ARCS model. James was able to describe his entire project. Results or design. You want to summarize the key results or lessons that you learned. Visualize them. Show off your design. That's what people really want to see. Remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Use legal images. Photos are preferable. There are lots of resources out there that provide you with either free or licensed images. Some are free, some are paid, so you need to look carefully. You want to show, not tell. You want to show your product. It's what audiences want to see. You can use screenshots, URLs, or videos, like this beautiful screenshot from Wendy Laros. Remember, simplicity is the key. It's better to have more slides with less content, and then keep those slides moving. Avoid a static screen for too long. Remember, less is more. Think about your tables and charts. If you're sharing a table or chart, make sure it's visible. Otherwise, it's just a distraction. Does this work? No. It's way too small and difficult to discern. You need to reformat it and design it so that it's easier to understand. You want to resize the figures to make them readable. There you go. That's a lot better. You can also add a border to make them pop. Here's a good example. These are participant test scores. It's easy to see which objectives performed best on the post-test. Here are the survey results for that project. Again, clean and simple. Next is our discussion. You want to summarize the important details. Why this? Why do you or I care? What did you do? What did you find out? Why does this matter? In the grand scheme of things, what's next? Further research and further action. Giving advice to others on what you've learned is a good way to end the presentation. Enumerate your insights, maybe the top 3 or 5. Tell them what you discovered, what challenges you had, your successes. What would you change? Where would you want to go next? Make connections with others. Invite them to ask questions and talk with you. This presentation talks about the project's key takeaways. There are only 5, clear and simple. Next, there was a project reflection, what I learned, where I go from here, and the project viability. Aloha and mahalo. Now it's time to watch our next video, Presenting Online with Confidence and Style, Part 3, Final Polish.